rankings you saw in these teams, all from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. We have our first CFP rankings. You have the projected bracket, Nick, but you also look down the line. You see a lot of teams that still can just win their way into the field, it would seem.
Well, I think you're in one of two positions right now if you made the rankings. You're in a position to control your own destiny because you're already in a position that will put you in the playoffs, or you're one of these teams that are going to need somebody to help you along the way to be able to get in there. One year we went into the SEC championship game 8th and won the game and jumped all the way to 4th. So you still have hope. You still have an opportunity. And I think two teams that are in that position are Texas and Oklahoma. They have to take care of business, but somebody may need to help them. But if they can win out, they're probably going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Coach, as a player, that's all you want to know. You want to look at where did we land, and then what are the obstacles that are in our way for us to reach where we want to go, our ultimate destiny. You look at teams like Oregon. Now, Oregon's at number 9 right now, right? Heard some people saying that may be kind of low for the Ducks, but you have a golden opportunity there. You go on the road, you play Iowa. Iowa's at number 20. They gave your number 2 team, Indiana, all they can handle. If you go out there and you show well, then there's a chance you can move up in the rankings. It's still very early, but there's going to be a lot of movement, Pat.
Yeah, Oregon number 9 is an interesting ranking from the CFP and how they view them. A game in Iowa against Iowa would be huge for there. And then don't rule out Iowa.
Right.
The Big Ten is still kind of cooking. I mean, that is certainly something that is very real, especially if you're an Iowa Hawkeye fan. You get a win today at home, 30 degrees, breezy in Kinnick against this Oregon team. Obviously, back-to-back wins, but who are they against? Iowa thinks that they're in this thing. And then you talk about teams controlling their own destiny. There's only one undefeated team in the state of Texas, and that's Texas A&M. This team, wow. I'll tell you, they got it all. They have it all. Quarterback could be a Heisman. I know they're pulling for a linebacker, Rodriguez, to win Heisman, which is certainly beautiful. But Marcel Reed is on the only undefeated team in the SEC, and he is unbelievable and phenomenal, and their defense has gotten very good. Then you talk about this particular game, Kirk. BYU, they're still undefeated. They think they could go on and control their destiny. Texas Tech feels the exact same way. Yeah. It's a lot of very interesting situations. We're deep in the season, but we're not at the dividing point just yet.
And it's so easy for us to focus on the playoffs, especially with the rankings coming out. But what I'm concerned about, and Coach talks about this a lot, are those teams that maybe the playoff is out of reach. They lost last week. They are holding on to hope, and then Miami had a loss. Tennessee had a loss. Vandy, Missouri, Nebraska, all 5 of those teams lost last week, and now it's very, very tough to imagine that they can get into the playoff. But still, you get to the end of the year, you win 9, 10 games, you finish 13, 14, 15. That's still a great year, but do they have the maturity? I'm concerned about those teams. Do they still have the why to go out and compete when maybe the playoff is not realistic?
And the option to potentially leave.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Who can hold it together and still find reasons to compete?
Hey, Pat talked about Oregon and Iowa, and he talked about the weather. There's one thing you left out, brother. There's one thing worse than being cold.
It's wet.
Wet and cold. And they're expecting rain in Iowa,
Oregon's used to the wet. The cold, though.
Exactly.
But, regardless of the circumstance you've created for yourself.
Yeah.
The key to the drill is you got to go out and take care of business.
Right.
Everybody's got to take care of business if you're going to have an opportunity to do it. I always liked it better when we had to prove something than when we were in position to already get the playoffs at this point, because the players get a little bit tight about how they're going to finish.
Did you ever talk rankings with your team? I mean,
Never.
Not slate in the SEC. We'll talk a lot about Texas A&M and Missouri, Florida, and Kentucky. LSU, Bama's completely under the radar. So there's some sneaky games in the SEC today.
Yeah, I'd say this Georgia game versus Mississippi State. You look at these two teams and how the season's gone so far. Both of these teams, especially Georgia. Georgia's been a team that's carried deficits into the second half. We call them a very resilient team because either in the fourth quarter or in overtime, they find a way to win these big games. And Mississippi State, especially at home, they've carried double-digit leads into the second half, especially the fourth quarter, but then they'll find a way to lose those games in either the fourth quarter or overtime. Kirk, I would not be surprised if Mississippi State clips the Bulldogs today in that game.
Whoa. We got
Play around with their food too much. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Kirby might be hanging out with Sean Payton in the offseason. The Denver Broncos, Georgia Bulldogs, almost the same team. Wait, and then turn it on in the second half. Georgia's got that massive game next week at home with Texas. Huge game early against Mississippi State. Des just hit a lot of that. Remember, Mississippi State runs that same old-school Art Briles offense. They stretch you, fast tempo. Both Tennessee ran that against this Georgia defense, and Ole Miss ran that same offense. Both teams had a lot of success. So maybe Des is on to something. At the very least, remember, Mississippi State took Texas into overtime at Starkville. Yep. Tennessee into overtime.
Exactly.
So this will be at the very least, a competitive.
Florida.
Yeah, should have beat Florida.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's a trap game.
Trap game.
It's a trap game. Is Georgia going to be looking ahead to next week's game? They can't afford to do that. This place, Mississippi State, with 60,000 cowbells, your ears are ringing for a week when you come out of that place. But I think one thing that Mississippi State learned is how to win. They lost every game at the end of the game prior to this, but last week they beat Arkansas, and maybe they learned how to win. But I don't think Georgia can go into this game not ready to play and improve as a team, or they're going to have lots of trouble in this game at Mississippi State.
I think we're all saying the same thing.
Maybe
here.
Mississippi State can put them away. Georgia, obviously, their last three wins, Auburn, Ole Miss, and Florida, all second-half comebacks, right? They obviously start slow, just like you said, Kirk. In those second halves, Gunner is throwing 78% completions, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. In the biggest moment, Gunner and that offense play very, very well. They're going to have to do it from beginning to end. And speaking of offense playing very well, you showed that onside kick. Vandy needs some help, but they still can dance their way in this entire thing. The magic that was built at Vanderbilt and in Nashville with Diego and Coach Lee and everything they have cooking, although you get a second loss, they need some help, but they can still go. So they can't be relenting, neither can Georgia, and all these weeks could be huge upsets for the future of programs.
Your man Diego has all the confidence in the world. I talked to Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson said after Alabama beat Vanderbilt, shaking hands with Diego, he says, "We'll see you again."
Yes.
Vanderbilt's ranked for the first time by the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. We are now here at the DoorDash dashboard to play a little grab bag. So this is going to be for everybody. You're going to get to start it, Kirk. Give us a question in the grab bag. You get the first swing at it.
I can stop here. Which underappreciated team deserves some love? I'm going to start with Southern Miss. Charles Huff, who used to be an assistant for you, took over a 1-11 team. They're 6-2, undefeated in the Sun Belt. So Southern Miss, and another town like Lubbock, loves football. Congrats to your coach, doing a good job. They're going to win today.
God bless your soul.
Yeah, there's several teams out there. When you played at a little lower level, you'd love to get some national love.
Yeah.
So a team like UConn, who's 6-3 and lost 3 games in overtime. San Diego State is 7-1, 4-0 in their conference. Only giving up 80 points, this year.
JMU, same JMU type. North Texas should definitely be in the conversation for what they're doing.
How about that young quarterback?
Duke's playing UConn today. I like Duke.
Okay, you like Duke. You like them. That entire American Conference, though. I think whenever you look at them, because obviously Power 5, Group of 5 gets a playoff spot, it's like there's a lot of teams in there that can kind of go on a run over there.
No doubt. I think there are 5 teams at least still with 1 loss in conference play and still in the middle.
Des, okay, let's go. Stop. Better defense. Ohio State or Indiana, better defense. Listen, the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are like a historic run right now. Listen, they're waiting. If this team meets this team in the Big Ten championship game, Matt Patricia's going to have something for all that Mendoza talk up there, Bloomington. Yeah, whatever they're doing, that little offense, this team's going to shut it down. Best defense in college football is not even close.
Argyle's obviously crazy. Styles crazy.
That means something coming from you.
No, you understand. What's the date? November 8th? He's just getting ready. He's learned reverse psychology. He's learned.
You're up for it.
Stop. You've learned reverse psychology. I'm proud of you.
Oh, look at this one for you. What do you got here?
First coach?
Carousel, Domino to Fall. Which one? Which going to be?
There's so much BS rumors. I'm gonna call a friend to get the latest.
Call a friend.
And there it is. the authority. Pete, what do you have for us on the coaching carousel?
So the phrase we're going to have to know this week, Kirk, is the deal in the drawer. There's a cluster of teams outside the top jobs. Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, Arkansas, UCLA, Stanford. They want to lock up one of these coaches. This is the most competitive carousel ever. The problem is the coaches they want, these group of 5 coaches, they all still have big games to play. So we are going to start to see this week an urgency from those schools to sign coaches, throw the deal in the drawer, and then we'll learn about them after they lose at the end of the regular season.
So which deal in the drawer can we find out first?
Exactly.
That's what I want to know.
See, you didn't tell us anything.
Am I right?
They put it in the drawer so we don't find out about it.
Oh, man.
Pete's still talking. Let's go to the next category.
Virginia Tech, I think, hires first.
let's
I think
spin this.
Virginia Tech
You
hires
think Virginia
first.
Tech gets somebody?
I think they
Who do
hire
you think they're going to hire?
The James Franklin rumors seem to be way too loud.
Yeah.
Will he go there? I don't know. We'll see. Stop. Does Julian Lewis win his debut for Colorado?
He announced on your show.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Juju here. Okay, he's a stud out of Georgia. I think he threw for 2,000 touchdowns or something like that in high school. Outrageous. He obviously got the keys from Shador. Now he's making his debut against the West Virginia Mountaineers. And I'll tell you what, I saw the Colorado equipment truck in Morgantown. That thing got stuck 3 different times. So I know they got the Rockies in Colorado. It ain't nothing compared to the mountains in Morgantown. And I think he has a tall task today with the West Virginia team that might have found its hard edge.
Off a win.
Yeah, we got a freshman quarterback too, Scotty Fox. Kid's a real deal.
Just saying. Where's Scotty Fox in the picture?
Big 12 might have the best quarterbacks in the country, to be honest with you, especially for the next 3 years or so.
Playing well, yeah.
Nick.
All right, Coach.
Stop. More disappointing.
Florida State or Clemson? Who's more
And
disappointing?
they play today.
Clemson.
Yeah.
Because they were ranked higher to start with. Florida State was ranked. I mean, both teams are having a disappointing season. But I think, I talked to Dabo this week, and
how's he doing?
I think he really had the right approach because every obstacle has an opportunity to learn and people can grow from it. And he really wants to see how his team finishes the season, responds, learns from all the adversity they've had to overcome this year.
Outside the box thinking. Would he ever leave there and go start fresh? Just get a. He's been there so long. Would he take one of these jobs, you think?
It would surprise me. And in my conversation with him, he never mentioned that. I mean, he was totally focused on what his team needs to do to have success.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, how about this? Remember when he said early, I don't think we'll fall to 6-6? If Florida State beats them, that'll be their 6th loss. Wow. All right, stop.
Wow.
This is for everybody. The best Texas hand gesture. Gig 'em, hook 'em.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff.
Gig 'em.
There's Baylor. But look, ponies.
How about this?
This is cool. This is really cool. It's like nothing's as cool as boom. That is pretty cool. I'll be honest. That is cool.
Nice. Oh, wait. Apparently we have a surprise category. So stop it.
We got.
Stop. High school football last night. Have a look at this play.
West Virginia, baby. The big man's rumbling. The big man's stumbling. Weighing in at 365. He's got the entire team on his back.
Look at it. Come on, big guy.
He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. Get him the ball more. We're in playoff season. Let's get him fullback.
That looks like your guy, Caden Proctor, the left tackle.
Like the jumbo package right there. What they call it in Alabama, the Krispy Kreme package.
Guy didn't even know what time the game was, but certainly wanted to give Dan Lanning some extra motivation. Dan Lanning then texts me, and I assume you, 20 minutes later, he says, thank you, Kirk. He ran that to the team like 50
Why didn't
minutes.
I wait till Saturday?
So loud. Now there's
so
no
loud.
chance
Now there's
Iowa has
Now I'm going to go back the other way. There's no chance that they could deal with that.
Oh, my God.
No.
You're a bad guy. People in Iowa are going to blame this on you. I hope you know that. But this is a great game in Big Ten
I
here,
think we've all been trained that Iowa in November, they always get somebody.
Yep.
And this is going to be the somebody. It's going to be Oregon. And forget just the history of Iowa winning. Oregon can't run the football the way you would expect them to run the football, and they can't stop the run the way you'd expect them to run the football against the better teams. We saw that against Indiana. It was a 2.7 yards a carry. So I don't know. I think Iowa is in a great spot. They're still on the hunt to maybe be an at-large team to get into the playoff. I think Iowa at home wins this game.
Well, Oregon's struggles come when they can't win on the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And that's the one thing that Iowa is very good at.
Oh, no.
You know, they're going to run the ball. They're going to shrink the game. They're going to play good defense. They're going to play well up front. They're going to stop the run.
Go ahead.
So this is exactly the kind of matchup you really don't want to be into if you're Oregon.
And you can say, are you going to say, are you going to say like Herbstreit said?
So did Herbstreit double down?
Yes, he did.
He doubled down.
The one thing you guys don't understand is you say he played that Thursday. It played over and over and over. All day Thursday, all day Friday. It's playing on the bus going to the game.
So who do you think's going to win?
I think Oregon will overcome.
Okay.
Their skill.
Thank God. Okay.
This is a game that seems like it's tailor-made for the Iowa Hawkeyes to win this game. The weather and everything. But I agree with Coach. I mean, you guys broke it down. We got everything. The offense, the defense. I think the Ducks will overcome the weather. It's going to be a nasty game, ugly game. Very low-scoring game, but
my pick is up for grabs at this exact moment.
The Ducks will win.
I thought Iowa, and then Kirk does his stuff.
I ruined it.
Yeah,
I apologize.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Ty Schmidt, I apologize.
And all of Iowa.
And all of Iowa.
Thank you.
I apologize.
They're going to be loud.
Iowa's fine in November with Kirk Ferentz at the helm against top 10 teams visiting Kinnick.
That's
5-1.
That's what I was. That's
5-1. And also keep an eye out today to see if Oregon is at full strength in their receiving core. I know it's going to be a messy day. Got to run the ball. Got to wait and see if Oregon's at full strength.
Yeah, they
there.
got some issues.
Project the bracket based on their rankings. Couple of things to note here in the first set of the rankings. Virginia and Memphis both not ranked in the top 12. Virginia's ranked 14th. They're the highest-ranked ACC team. And, of course, Memphis, which lost last night, at the time was the highest-ranked team from the group of 5. The changes are you don't have to win your conference to be a top 4 seed as you did last year. Now, some other changes I just want to go over with you briefly. Seeding, as I mentioned, now based directly on the rankings of the playoff committee. You see who gets the bye. There are some changes in the metrics, too. The strength of schedule now applies greater weight to playing games against strong opponents. And for the first time in the playoff era, they have an official record strength metric, which means how well did you play against your schedule compared to an average college football playoff contender. Now, the one thing to keep in mind here, they're doing this based on standard deviation from the mean. It's not just a straight ranking. And the other thing to think of, they're not looking for an answer key from their metrics. What they're doing is they're trying to make the data more rigorous to make that a part of the evaluation process.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yep.
What does all that mean for in layman's terms? Why did they do that?
They did it because they were getting criticism that they weren't applying enough, that the data wasn't good enough. They tried to make it stronger and tried to reflect if you beat a good team, you get more credit for it.
What if you lose on the road
to a good team? You're not hurt as badly. You're not hurt nearly as badly. But if you lose to a bad team, then that's going to hurt you.
You should drop.
And then the other part of it, too, is that when you play a game in the past, strength of schedule didn't take into account where you played.
They should.
Now it does.
Good. It should.
Does. So that's part of it. So,
and at night should matter. Instead
all of those things matter. Location, everything. They figure it out. And this is a team that a lot of people thought should have been number 1. It's number 3.
The disrespect for the SEC is getting out of hand. This team's number 3, right? Now listen, we all understand the SEC is a basketball conference. And the championship goes through the Big Ten. But right now, this team, you talked about the wins. How could you not get a lot of credit for beating Notre Dame at Notre Dame? And LSU was a different team at that time when they beat LSU. It's better than any of these wins for Indiana. I mean, going to Oregon, we was there.
Man,
it was a good win.
Those are 2 pretty good wins.
But not like these 2. They're good, but then you have this one. So of these 3 teams, to me, this one has the best wins, these 2 wins, then this one, and then Ohio State.
Can I point out one little thing about the numbers?
Yeah.
It's probably very similar, but these are not the numbers necessarily from the committee's formulas. Those are proprietary. Those are our numbers. They're likely very similar.
Yeah.
Trying to guess.
Back to the bracket.
Not the Aggies.
What did you see?
Yeah, I like the Aggies, too. The chair told Rece the other day on Tuesday that their defensive stats are worse than those 2, so that's why they're 3. Oregon at 9. A lot of people potentially had them projected at 6. Them at 9. That's very close to being right here, brother. Now, you start looking at their resume. Obviously, they lose to Indiana, and now they have a tough Iowa team. They have the best win that they have is Northwestern, which is obviously a surprise. Penn State, it's not their fault that Penn State's no longer really worth anything. So getting past today is a big one. Then they got USC, they got Washington, and I think the CFP committee said, Oregon, you're close already. So a lot to prove for the Ducks, and Kirk Herbstreit trying to motivate them every day. So that's
doing my best.
Trying your best. Trying your
It's
best.
a great opportunity for them, too. They can move up if they win all those games.
Absolutely. The resume can only be built right now. But I think the CFP is saying, hey, are you real or not? Which saying a lot about Ohio State, too.
Exactly.
We're not getting into it.
Trying to tell you.
Not going to get into it.
There are a lot of teams, Kirk, not just here, but a lot of teams still in the hunt. Here we are, second Saturday in
One thing that
November
stood out to me is that we have 3 Big 12 teams: Texas Tech,
Whoa.
BYU, 7 and 8, and even where is
Utah? Utah's just out of this. They're 13.
Okay, and Utah is so I think 3 teams in the Big 12.
Here, look at it this way.
Yeah, being ranked higher than the highest ACC team. And this is, if you break it down by conference, because at the end of the day, you can only have 12 teams.
Yeah.
So you have Notre Dame and a group of 5. Utah down here. So you have 2 here, possibly. Looks like 1 right now for the ACC. Here's the Big Ten with 3, you would think, but there's still teams alive. USC won last night. Michigan still has a chance. Iowa still has a chance. And then you have 4 we project right now with the SEC, but still these teams right here, of course, are knocking on the door as well. So it's interesting when you break it down by conference. All of these teams, if you're down here, one thing they have in common, they want Notre Dame to lose. So that would open up a potential spot for these extra at-large teams.
Miami's already beaten them. Dude, and Pittsburgh gets to play them.
Yeah. What do you have, Coach?
One of the things that I'd like to point out is the 4 teams that get a bye, they all lost last year.
They did.
And when you talk to fans all over the country, they want a home game. So if you're 5 through 8, you get a home game.
Yes, sir.
And people want to play at home.
Yep.
So these teams would have a chance to play at home. Now, what's the advantage and disadvantage of having a bye? Obviously, last year with all that time off, that affected the momentum that these teams could carry into the next game. They all got beat. These teams all advanced.
And neutral site to start the playoff. I mean, there's so much disadvantage, it feels like, for the bye there, Coach, even though they're the highest-ranked teams in the country.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, these passionate fans really want these
5 through 8
a home game, man. They want to see their team play at home, and I think
Big fella's up here. Come on in here, big fella.
Pointer and everything.
Look
Look at the possibility of this. How about this team possibly going to play this team in Lubbock, Texas?
Would you like that?
How much fun would that be?
Texas Tech in the playoffs, certainly.
These 2 teams can play their way in because Texas plays Georgia, Texas plays
A&M.
Oklahoma plays Alabama.
Everybody.
So
Oklahoma
if they
plays
win
everybody.
those games, they're going to have a chance to get in as well.
Yeah.
Hey, can we take a look at this breakdown again just a second?
Yeah,
I think there's one thing to have a look at here with
Oh, yes.
Oh, look at this.
What do we get?
Here's a quarterback in the pocket, throws
There it
his
is.
ball downfield into the vertical. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, I was sick.
I mean, that was planned out. You have no idea how much time that took.
It's like,
look
dude,
at
perfect.
perfection. Look at that. He knew. As soon as he threw it, he knew.
1 for 1 on tortilla tosses to that cowboy right there,
That's a
Texas
lineman.
Tech. I'm pretty pumped up. Yeah, he's a thicker build. Yeah, but he's still an athlete. Good grab by that cowboy. What a moment. Yeah, lucky to be here. It's been a great morning here.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch them walk right past you.